we are joined with us DGP Siddharth Chattopadhyay to know more about this case, just because this case remain in the national headlines. Sir, first, you got this lead and you almost half of the case has been cracked, that Gagandeep Singh was identified and the back forces are also being identified. Can you please reveal the primary information, how you identified deceased Gagandeep Singh after this blast within 24 hours?
In fact, we got the lead within a few hours. We did not disclose it for reasons of secrecy and investigation, so that the other people who are affiliated or the other accomplices don't escape. The main thing was the mobile number and the SIM card. So that helped us in identifying him. And we immediately traced back to the person who it was issued to, went to the family said he's missing. So it was obvious. And the way his wife narrated his activities, his behavior, and the details which came out, that he was a dismissed head constable who had been arrested for drugs. So these things came out in a matter of hours, in fact. So that was an amazing accomplishment by the team, all the teams, in fact, not just one team.
So he was a part of that narco-terror in Punjab, and how he indulged into the terrorism. I mean, from narco to how he indulged into the terrorist activities.
The line is very thin. You see, it's just a question. It's a question of a crime. Narcotics he was into already. It is part of organized crime. That's how the narcotics come in and it's sold. He was a part of that. To get a halo, to justify what they are doing, so that as if they are fighting for a cause, to get a public acclaim, public support, they go and speak about a cause, which in this case is Khalistan, which basically is the biggest threat to the development, to the peace and prosperity of Punjab, of the people of Punjab.
And sir, in fact, pro-Khalistani organizations always try to exploit our youth by creating such kind of panic situation in Punjab. Is this the same case that Khalistani organization backed by ISI? Is this the same case that Gagandeep was in touch with the pro-Khalistani or Pak-based ISI?
It appears so. But our youth, fortunately, are not falling prey to this. What you're saying is correct, but fortunately at the moment the youth are not falling prey, they are only falling prey to drugs. So that is why I extended my request that they should desist from this, move towards positive activities, sports, games, cultural activities, anything positive.
My last two questions, sir. Pro-Khalistani, last question, sir, just last question. Sir, please, last question. Sir, only last question, sir. Sir, please, last question, sir. One last question regarding Khalistan. Pro-Khalistani organizations are sitting in Pakistan and they are backing this. And in fact, this Gagandeep Singh was linked by certain other kind of elements here also. So where the investigation has been reached regarding the cross-border connection of Gagandeep Singh?
Well, that is under process. I will not be able to disclose those things because they are... they have to be kept secret at the moment. So only it will disclose various things and it will alert the people who are involved, the accomplices. Thank you.
So in fact, regarding this Ludhiana bomb blast case, the pro-Khalistani organizations sitting in the Pakistan, they are completely in touch with Gagandeep and those are behind this conspiracy. Yes, Priyanka.
Well, yes, Amandeep, you've gotten us that exclusive conversation with the DGP, who's also now claiming that the entire conspiracy was also backed by the Khalistani groups as well. For the moment, Amandeep, thank you. We will keep tracking that story very, very closely. But before we move on, we have some more details with regard to the Ludhiana blast case, and the DGP also now making this statement that the entire conspiracy, in fact, had been backed by Khalistani groups. And I am being joined by my senior executive editor, Abhishek Kapoor. Abhishek, now this is made clear by the authorities, the DGP clearly claiming that there were pro-Khalistani groups who were at play with respect to the Ludhiana blast case.
Yes, Priyanka, in fact, as we are breaking, the central agencies are piecing together details based on some trails that they have laid their hands on, and it leads to the two names that you took, Rinda and Multani. Multani, in fact, is based out of Germany, and Rinda is based out of Pakistan. In fact, he's someone who's wanted in numerous terror attacks and incidents and criminal activities in Punjab. That's why he escaped. Germany-based Khalistani radical Jaswinder Singh Multani is actually, in fact, Rinda also. They are both connected with the Sikhs for Justice, which is a terror outfit banned in India. And the connecting link, of course, is the Pakistani agency ISI, and they activated Rinda and Multani, and in turn, the two activated their cells in Punjab, and that's how the explosives were brought in. Gagandeep was used, and I think the agencies are very close to piecing together the details and the conspiracy behind the Ludhiana terror attack. And we hope that all the loose ends would be tied. But what is important is that if a known Khalistani activist and terrorist is being allowed to operate in Germany, that's for the German agencies also to look into, and the manner in which Multani is coordinating these efforts, both at the end of Pakistani ISI and the US-based SFJ, which was involved openly in calling for a referendum on Khalistan in Punjab in the year 2020. I think, for Pakistan, obviously, less said the better, but then at least the German friends would understand that this should not be allowed. Having said that, the agencies are closing in, Priyanka, and we are told that the Ludhiana blast and the larger conspiracy to disturb communal harmony as a build-up to the Punjab elections would slowly unravel.
Absolutely, Abhishek. And from day one, we had seen the Deputy Chief Minister also claiming that there are outside forces who do not want stability in Punjab. And on that note,